Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunsha Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Kunsha Bihari Yashodanandana Janaranjana Yamunatira Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Girivaradhari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jaya Jagannatha Jagannatha, Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Mai Jaya, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Yoga Dharma Shri Hari Ram Sankirtan ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Samveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai Gaur Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Rottama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter number 10. Maharaj Raghuna meets Jadabharat, text number 12. विशेषबुद्धेर्विवरं मनश्च पश्यामयन्न व्यवहरतो अन्यात् क ईश्वरस्तत्र किम् इशितव्यम् तथापि राजन् करवाम किं ते विशेषबुद्धेर्विवरं मनश्च पश्यामयन्न व्यवहरतो अन्यात् क ईश्वरस्तत्र किम् इशितव्यम् तथापि राजन् करवाम किं ते. And devotees can recite. Any Matajis? Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Vishesha Buddhe of the conception of the distinction between master and servant. Vivaram, the scope. Manak, a little. Cha, also. Pashyamaha, I see. Yat, which. Na, not. Vyavaharataha, then the temporary usage or convention. Anyat, other. Ka, who. Ishvara, the master. Tatra, in this. Kim, who. Ishitavyam, is to be controlled. Tatapi, nevertheless. Rajan, O king, you still think that you are master and I am servant. Karavama, I may do. Kim, what? Te, for you. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan. Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai. Translation. My dear king, if you still think that you are the king and that I am your servant, you should order me and I should follow your order. I can say that this differentiation is temporary. It expands only from usage or convention. I do not see any other cause. In that case, who is the master and who is the servant? Everyone is being forced by the laws of material nature. Therefore, no one is master and no one is servant. Nonetheless, if you think that you are the master, that I am the servant, I shall accept this. Please order me. What can I do for you? Purport. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam aham mameti. One thinks I am this body, and this bodily relationship is my master, he is my servant, she is my wife, and he is my son. All these conceptions are temporary due to the inevitable change of the body and the arrangement of material nature. We are gathered together like straws floating in the waves of an ocean, straws that are inevitably separated by the laws of waves. In this material world, everyone is floating on the waves of ocean of nescience, as described by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Miche Mayara Vashe Yacha Peshe Kacha Upudubu Bhai Jive Krishnatas E Vishwas Kalletar Dukkanai. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur states that all men and women are floating like straws on the waves of material nature. They come to understanding that they are eternal servants of Krishna, they will put an end to this floating condition. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.37, Kamaisha Krodhaesha Rajoguna Samudbhava. Due to the mode of passion, we desire many things, and according to our desire or anxiety, and according to the order of the Supreme Lord, material nature gives us a certain type of body. For some time we play as master or servant, as actors play on the stage under someone else's direction. While we are in the human form, we should put an end to this nonsensical stage performance. We should come to our original constitutional position known as Krishna consciousness. At the present moment, the real master is material nature. Daivihi esha gunamayi mammaya duratyeya. Under the spell of material nature, we are becoming servants and masters. But if we agree to be controlled by the Supreme Personality Godhead and His eternal servants, this temporary condition ceases to exist. Omagyanatimirandasya Jnananshana Salake Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadanti Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatadeshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurasve Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vacha Kalpa Tarumbhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Titanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam karoti vachalam pangunangayate viram Yat kripaha tamaham vande Sri Gurun Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. So before I start speaking, I seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas here so that I can speak on this section of Bhagavatam and the glorification of Lord and purification of my heart. So in this beautiful section of Srimad Bhagavatam, we are discussing about Bharat Maharaj and his next two lives as deer and King Jadabharat. So we know that how Maharaj Bharat, he left everything and went to the forest to completely meditate on the Supreme Lord, serve the Supreme Lord, and he gets attracted to a deer, and at the time of death he remembers the deer and leaves his body. So next life he becomes a deer, but because of being a very exalted devotee, Lord gave him the remembrance. So he was very careful even in the body of a deer. He was trying to stay near the sages and also eat only dry grass, remain detached. And later in the next life he became Jadabharat, and he was completely Jada, inert to Maya. Externally he was behaving like a madman, and his father initially tried to teach him. Later his brothers also mistreated him. In all those situations he was unaffected, but remembering the Lord in his heart. And even the dacoits tried to kill him, offer him as sacrifice to Mother Kali, but he was not disturbed, and Mother Kali killed all those dacoits. And later these carriers of palanquin of this king Rahugana, they needed somebody to carry, so they caught this Jadabharat and engaged in that service. So Jadabharat, whatever came in its own accord, he saw it as, okay, Lord's arrangement. He just kept doing that. He didn't rebel against them. But internally he was always Krishna conscious. So while carrying the palanquin, we know that how, because of some ants, he was very careful and slowly walking, not to hurt the ants. So that time the other carriers complained that it is because of this person, not because of us, because they knew that the king will become angry on them. So that time, so we'll just see a few previous verses, because this verse is coming how Jadabharat responds to the chastisement of King Rahugana. So what Rahugana says and what Jadabharat says is very instructive, because it can also help us in our own lives how to deal with honor and chastisements, and also how to come out of the bodily conception of life. So King Rahugana is telling to Jadabharat, how troublesome is this, my dear brother? You certainly appear very fatigued, because you have carried this palanquin alone without assistance for a long time and for a long distance. Besides that, due to your old age, you have become greatly troubled. So he is basically indirectly criticizing. My dear friend, I see that you are not very firm. Although Jadabharat was quite strong, not very strong and stout. Aren't your fellow carriers cooperating with you? In this way, King criticized Jadabharat with sarcastic words. Yet despite being criticized in this way, Jadabharat had no bodily conception of the situation. He knew that he was not the body, for he had attained his spiritual identity. He was neither fat, lean, nor thin, nor had he anything to do with the lump of matter, a combination of 5 gross and 3 subtle elements. He had nothing to do with the material body and its 2 hands and legs. In other words, he had completely realized his spiritual identity, Aham Brahmasmi. He was therefore unaffected by this sarcastic criticism from the king. Without saying anything, he continued carrying the palanquin. Then, still when the palanquin was shaking, the king became very angry. He said, you rascal, what are you doing? Are you dead despite the life within your body? Do you not know that I am your master? You are disregarding me and are not carrying out my order. For this disobedience, I shall now punish you just as Yamaraj, the superintendent of death, punishes sinful people I shall give you proper treatment that will make you come to your senses. We know that Jadabharat was previously Maharaj Bharat, he himself was a Kshatriya. So he could have told this Rahugana, hey, what are you thinking? You know who I am? I am taking a humble position. So because I want to take a humble position. So, but you should understand that I was also a greater king than you. You are a small king. I am the king of the whole world. So he could have told what I was or no. But here he is not talking like that. So here in the next verse, Rahugana is Prabhupada mentioning that Rahugana was in bodily conception affected by mode of passion and ignorance. That's why he chastised Jadabharat. But Jadabharat, why he was unaffected? Because he was topmost devotee of the Lord. And the king thought himself very learned. He didn't knew the advanced position of Jadabharat. And he didn't know his characteristics. So Jadabharat was the residence of Supreme Lord. He always carried the form of the Lord within his heart. He was dear friend of all living beings. And he did not entertain any bodily conception. So that's why he was not affected. Why Jadabharat was not affected? Because he was not in the bodily conception. And also he was seeing everyone as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, and he was treating them as his friends. That I am a spirit soul and they are also like that. So he treated the king, the ants, everyone as his friends, as his brothers. So then Jadabharat started speaking that, my dear king and hero, whatever you spoke is certainly true. So actually these are not simply words of chastisement, for the body is the carrier. The load carried by the body does not belong to me, for I am the spirit soul. And there is no contradiction in your statements, because I am different from the body. I am not the carrier of the palanquin, the body is the carrier. Certainly, as you have hinted, I have not labored carrying the palanquin, for I am detached from the body. You have said that I am not stout and strong. These words are befitting a person who does not know the distinction between the body and soul. The body may be fat or thin, but learned man would say such things of the spirit soul. But no learned man would say such things of the spirit soul. I am neither fat nor skinny. Therefore, you are correct when you say that I am not very stout. So he is actually refuting all the chastisements, arguments of King Rahugana. So we can see in this world that how so many people are facing inferiority complex because of identifying with the body. I am black, or I am stout, I am thin, I am short. So all this type of bodily conceptions actually bind us in this material world. But here Jadabharat is giving solution. How we can come out is by understanding who we are. So generally every day when we see in the mirror, we think that I am this body. So one devotee wrote on the mirror, you are not what you see. So generally we think that what we see in the mirror is myself. But actually we are in the body, but we are not the body. Just like a driver is sitting in the car, but driver is different, car is different. Right? Car is also Jada Vastu, matter. Body is also matter, made of all bones, flesh, all horrible substances. But because there is spirit soul, that's why there is life. Just like driver enters the car starts moving. So same way, because the spirit soul enters the body, is there in the body, that's why the body is moving. Otherwise there is no movement for the body. So we had in the body, so we have to take care of the body. But we should not only just take care of the body, but we should also take care of the driver in the body, which is the soul. Just like if you take care of car by putting petrol, diesel, whatever, gas, but if you forget taking care of driver, then he will suffer and car will not function eventually. So same way we have to feed the soul. Feed soul means he doesn't eat samosa or chapati or rice dal. His food is Krishna consciousness, serving the Supreme Lord. Only that can satisfy the soul. Krishna consciousness is the only food for soul. So that hunger of soul has to be fulfilled. We are 3 times eating and satisfying this body, but hardly satisfying the hunger of the soul. So that is a problem. The whole society is suffering because of this hunger. So this hunger comes out in the form of lust, greed, anger, dissatisfaction. So if you fulfill that hunger of the soul, then everybody will be satisfied. So then he is saying fatness, thinness, bodily and mental distress, thirst, hunger, fear, like this he gives many things. And identification of body with the self are all transformations of the material covering of the spirit soul. So all these various illusory distresses, old age, attachment to material positions, anger, these are all coming out only because of bodily conception of life. A person absorbed in material bodily conception is affected by these things. So 2 very fat ladies once went to Iskcon temple. So they were always in distress, inferiority complex, because people used to comment, you are fat and this and that. So when they went that day, there was a class on science of self-realization, how we are spirit soul. So when they heard, you are not this body, you are spirit soul. So immediately they became very happy. Oh, we are not this body. We thought we are this body and we are so much affected. So they became completely free from unnecessary anxiety. So to the degree we identify with this body, to that degree we become affected, either by praise or by somebody's criticism. Right? But actually we are not this body. This is given by Supreme Lord as per our karma for some time. Right? So that identification has to be changed. So then until now he is talking about bodily conception. Now in this next 11th and 12th he is talking about the temporary designations. So he is saying, you have unnecessarily accused me of being dead though alive. So indeed everything material has a beginning and end. As far as you are thinking that you are the king and master and are thus trying to order me, this is also incorrect, because all these positions are temporary. Now first this is also one kind of bodily identification, but he is talking about the designations which we identify. So like we say aham mameti. First we think I am this body, and then in relation with the body we identify with so many false material designations. But the primary wrong identification is that I am this body. Based on that, the other false conceptions come. But if you remove that, then all the other things are temporary illusion, right? Because in relation with the body, we are identifying with those, that I am king or I am this, I am that. So then he is saying, today you are king, I am your servant. But tomorrow the position may be changed, because material positions are temporary and illusory. So that's why he is telling that we should not identify with that. So today's verse is saying that if you still think you are king, I am your servant, you can order me and I should follow your order. But you should know that this differentiation is temporary. It is only for usage and convention. Okay. So in that case, who is the master? Who is the servant? Everyone is forced by the laws of material nature. So Prabhupada used to say that so many people tried to be the controllers in this world, like Hitler, Napoleon, and people used to say Napoleon is France, France is Napoleon. So then Prabhupada said, but France remained, Napoleon didn't remain. France also will not remain eventually. Everything is temporary. But in the waves of time, everything will be erased. As in this purport also Prabhupada is mentioning, that by the force of material nature, some living entities come together like straws in the river. So in the river, sometimes you see that some straws, they come together, they stay together and go for some time, and after some time, they again divide, right? Or Prabhupada gives another analogy, like in a train journey, few passengers come together for some time, and when the station comes, they get down. So similarly, in our life, we get different people at different stages. We stay together for some time, and when death comes, we have to get down, basically, right? So all these relationships or temporary designations they're temporary and illusory. Prabhupada is mentioning. So, but foolish living entity, he has very strong identification with these temporary designations. So in Bhagavad Gita, we see that Krishna talks about Swadharma, one's occupational duties in relation with the Varnashrama Dharma. So, and in Bhagavatam it is mentioned, Ata Pumbit Dvidashreshta Varnashrama Vibhagasa Sanushtitasya Dharmasya Samsiddhir Haritoshan. So all this Swadharma, whatever occupational duties one performs, they are also meant to be performed for pleasing Lord Hari. But more than this, more important than this, because by that gradually you get purified, but we should not be attached to that Swadharma also. So in Bhagavatam it is mentioned, Savai Pumsham Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adokshaje Ahaituki Apratihata Eyatma Suprasidati. So the Paro Dharma, the highest occupational duty is what? Not working in Microsoft or Google. What is the highest occupational duty? To render unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service. So that only can satisfy the Supreme Lord and the soul. That only can satisfy us completely. So that real deep satisfaction we are looking for will only come when you follow these two things, even in devotional service. Ahetuki, apratihata. Unmotivated and uninterrupted. Many times, if you see, our devotional service also has lot of material motivations. So sometimes we may not even be aware that we have. When we are in passion and ignorance, we may not even realize that I have some material motivations. But when we gradually come out of mode of passion and ignorance by hearing, slowly we start realizing how I am in mode of passion and ignorance. So we have to give up those false motivations, wrong motivations, and also our service should be uninterrupted. So generally we think that okay, morning program from 4:30 to 9 is my devotional service and other time is for me. But even in that morning program also we see that many times we are not focused. But a devotee should think that everything, all 24 hours are meant for Krishna. Even when I work, that work is also for Krishna's pleasure. So we have to basically, Krishna is all our activities. We should do for Krishna's pleasure. But unfortunately, if we are not properly situated in our parodharma, your constitutional position properly, we more identify with our swadharma or our temporary designations. Even in Krishna consciousness, we may strongly identify with our designations that are given, some service, some roles which are given. So that is also means material designation if we forget to engage in service of Krishna and also to endeavor to act in our true position. So how do we know that whether we are properly situated in our parodharma or we are too much attached to our swadharma? So we can see while chanting. Chanting is the litmus test, it is said, for our consciousness. How much we are attached to Krishna, how much we are detached from Maya. We can clearly see. Like litmus test, they keep that paper, litmus paper, and that color has to change. Correct? So similarly, when chanting, if you evaluate your consciousness, how much I am able to take shelter of Krishna while chanting, and how much my mind is roaming all over the world or sleeping and not interested in Krishna. So that much we are in bodily conception and also attached to these temporary designations. Like somebody is working in some company, what is temporary designations or the work related to that while chanting also. Oh, I have to do this, I have to do that. Or even devotees also who are rendering some department services, they may be thinking of those department services. I should do this, I should talk to this devotee. So still that means we are so much attached to that designation only. Why we are attached to that designation? What is wrong? Somebody may say, what is wrong? If I am attached to, suppose I am a preacher, I am attached to the designation. Why first of all we are attached? Because we are getting some pleasure in that. Like a preacher may get pleasure. Oh, so many are following me, so many are hearing me, so many offer obeisances to me. So he may become attached to the pleasure he is getting from the designation. Or, oh, so many people are under me, I am managing so many things. So one may become attached to that designation even in Krishna consciousness. So he is more interested in that service than his eternal service of rendering pure devotional service. He is more interested in that designation than his eternal designation of Jivere Swaruphoy Krishnera Nityadas. You're understanding? So because we are getting some material pleasure even in, actually that is karma mishra bhakti we can say, because we are mixing our material motives in that. It's not pure devotional service because we are still attached to those designations and pleasure we are getting. So when we are chanting holy names, because we are thinking that, oh, what this chanting will give, or what if I am thinking about Krishna, or if I take shelter of Krishna, so I don't see any immediate result. But if I think about my service, I plan about service, immediately there is a result. So we are very fruitive even while chanting. Other times anyway we are having that fruitive mentality. But even while chanting we are having that strong fruitive mentality. So even while chanting, inside our mind we are thinking about all these services. Right? So we are not understanding that ultimately if Krishna is in control of everything. That if I chant, if I manage my chanting properly, depending on Guru and Krishna, Krishna will manage everything. We need not take tension. Because even if you are thinking that I have to manage, then we are in the doership mentality. Correct? Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudatma kartaham eti manyate. So this kartaham, the doership mentality is very, very strong. Right? So that's why here Jadabharat is telling, don't identify with this false designation that you are king, I am servant. Who is king, who is servant, who knows? This life previously I was king. And now I became servant. Now you think you are king, next life you may become servant. Correct? So these all designations are temporary. That's why when this Harshashoka died, Chitraketu was lamenting. So Narada Muni called again that soul back, and then he told, now you speak. So that soul started speaking and telling, Hare, whose father, which father you are talking? I had so many fathers in so many lifetimes. Sometimes I had a father in birds, family, animals, family. So many, I had different fathers and mothers. So same way, in previous life I had you as my father. So which father you are talking of? So hearing from, but he said the original father for everyone is Krishna. Aham bija prajapitaha. Krishna is the seed-giving father for all the living entities. Because that species or that living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. And even the various material species, that original seed is given by Krishna only. So that's why these bodies or various species are coming. So he is the real father and mother. So hearing that, then Chitraketu becomes detached. So similarly here, to make this Rahugana also detached, here Jadabharat is trying to instruct and help him to come out of that false designation that you are the king. So living entities have very strong enjoying mentality and controllership mentality. Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gnatva mam shantirichati. Krishna gives the peace formula, how we can be peaceful. When you understand Krishna is the enjoyer, Krishna is the supreme controller, he is the Surat, best friend of all living entities, then you can be peaceful. But when you try to control, when you try to be proprietor, enjoyer, when you try to be the well-wisher of everyone, then independent of Krishna, thinking that I am the well-wisher on my own, then you will be in trouble. Then you cannot be peaceful. That's why here Rahugana was not peaceful. Because he is thinking, I am the king, everybody should follow my orders. Why is this Jadabharat not following my orders? That's why he is angry. Right? So, we see that although so many kings try to control and have their proprietorship, but how long are they proprietors and how long are they controllers? Right? So, I think when once this Alexander was there, one thief stole something from his tent and the soldiers caught him. And he was brought before this Alexander, and the Alexander became angry and said, no, we'll punish you for this. So the thief said, what wrong I did? I am a small thief, you are a big thief. So I am only stealing small few things, but you are trying to steal big countries only. Why kings or people who are materially attached like these kings are also thieves? Because everything belongs to Supreme Lord. Isha Avashyam Idam Sarvam. Everything is under the controllership, ownership of the Supreme Lord. But living entity foolishly thinks that I am the owner, I am the proprietor, and I am the controller. So this is very strong identification. Right? So like we see Hiranyakashipu try to control or become proprietor of planets only. Right? All the 14 worlds except Brahmalok. He tried to control all the various planets only. So living entity, okay, if not planets, at least I will control one planet. If not, at least one country. If not, at least one state. If not, we'll divide the states and then we'll control. Or if not states, at least some district. If not, at least some taluka. If not, at least some, villages. If not, at least my gully. No, what they call ward. ward in charge, something they call. So if not the ward, at least my house. And even in house, if nobody listens, at least I will keep a dog, and at least dog will listen to me. So see how strong is the controllership mentality. Why people are keeping dogs? One reason is now nobody listens in the house. So at least dog will listen. Hey Tommy, it will come. Oh, at least this dog, at least this dog is listening and it is in my control. At least other fellows are anyway, they are in their own world, nobody listens. At least, okay, this Tommy is listening, very nice. So, yeah, that is the reason. They want to control, so at least control some dog. Right? But foolish living entities, they don't understand that they cannot control anything. They are just temporary, illusory proprietors for some time. Radheshan Prabhu was telling once that even if there is small pan shop, dabba, no, you see, tin, small, sometimes they will write proprietor, so and so. Arey, small, not even 10 feet shop. So means living entity wants to show, see, at least I am proprietor for this small shop. So this mentality of proprietor, controller is so strong. So first he wants to become proprietor. And once he becomes proprietor, I own it. So now, after owning it, I will start controlling. Like Hiranyakashipu said, now he defeated all the demigods. I am the proprietor for all the planets. Now he started controlling the demigods. Hey, summer, bring rains. Hey, winter, there should be sun. When I am going out, there should be shower of rain. He started controlling everything. Right? Because once he understood, I am the proprietor now for everything. Now I will start controlling everything. Then, after controlling everything, then he starts enjoying. Right? So this mentality is very, very strong in the living entities. To become proprietor, to control and enjoy. Right? So that creeps in either grossly or even subtly also. And that enjoying mentality, bhoga vritti of living entity is very, very strong and very, very deep also. Sometimes we don't even realize that how we are trying to enjoy by in various positions. Sometimes even through the designations, we are trying to control people and enjoy that position, the glorification that comes through that position. So devotees, that's why should be very careful that okay, I may take up this various designations, even in Krishna consciousness as a service to the Supreme Lord, but let me not become attached to all these false designations because they are temporary. That's why it is false. This is not eternal, right? But my true designation is Jivere Swarupai Krishnera Nityas. Not only that, devotees go even deeper. Gopi Bhartu Padakamalayur Dasa Dasana. Not only I am servant of Krishna, I want to become servant of devotees. Because the false ego says, okay, I am servant of Krishna, but let me control other servants of Krishna. No. I want to become servant of devotees. Because sometimes, okay, I may be servant of Krishna, but I want to control the other servants. I want to be their controller. No, but devotees say, no. I want to become servant of. So that we see repeatedly in the pages of Bhagavatam also. Chitraketu also, as our Dhritarashtra, he says, aham hare tava padaika moolam dasanudasa bhavitastam bhuya. So he is saying that I also want to become servant of devotees. Right? And King Prataprudra also, when our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks him, who are you? What is your designation? He says, Brityere Britya, I am the servant of your servants. So this is the identification we should strongly identify with. Right? Prabhupada says, what is Vaikuntha consciousness? I am the servant, everybody is my master. Not that I am the master, everybody should my servant. Material consciousness means I should be the master and everybody should serve me. Right? Like Prabhupada went to that Dye Nippon company and he had a meeting with the managers. So at the end of the meeting, one manager remained. So Prabhupada asked, what is your goal in life? So he had all the visiting cards of all the managers. So he kept on the table. He removed his card and kept on the top. He said, this is my goal, that I should become the topmost, I should achieve the topmost position in this company. So Prabhupada said, this is material consciousness. Boss on a boss. I want to become the controller of everything and enjoy. But spiritual consciousness means I want to become dasanudas. So we should actually pray to Lord that let me give up this material consciousness, trying to control and enjoy. Let me long for this consciousness of being servant of servant. So in the purport to that verse spoken by Pratap Rudra, Prabhupada says that this is the benediction all the great devotees of the Lord ask for. What is that? To become the servant of servant. So he quotes Prahlad Maharaj when Lord Narasimha appeared. Lord Narasimha is asking, what benediction you want? So Prahlad Maharaj, we know how many difficulties he underwent, right? After so many difficulties, Lord appeared and he's blessing him, asking what you want. He is saying, I want to become the servant of Narada Muni, serve him. He didn't forget his spiritual master. And then Dhruva Maharaj, what benediction he asked when Kuvera came, asked what you want? He said, I want to become servant of Vaishnavas. Kolavecha Sridhar, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked in Mahaprakash, what you want? He said, I want to become servant of servant. So Prabhupada says, this is the greatest benediction which anyone can ask for. So that same opportunity of becoming servant of servant is given to all of us by mercy of Srila Prabhupada. We have not undergone any austerities like Dhruva. We have not undergone any difficulties like Prahlad. Nor we are simple like our Kolavech Sridhar. Right? But the same opportunity, the same benediction is given to all of us also. When you actually try to serve in Iskcon, we can have so much opportunity to become servant of all the Vaishnavas. Right? We can serve prasadam. We can try to serve in various ways. Nobody can say that, oh, I don't have any opportunity. No, there is unlimited opportunity. And whatever service also we are given, even if you are guiding some people, we should try to do in the mode of servant. I am trying to serve this person on the order of my spiritual master. Ultimately, he is my master. Everybody is my master. Right? Okay. So, they might not remember that, but I should remember. We should always be in that mood. So, but material world, material association is actually pulling us away from this consciousness and trying to induce material consciousness of enjoying mentality. So, we should actually chant very sincerely and pray to Krishna that, oh Krishna, please remove this controllership, proprietorship, enjoyership mentality, and please help me to have proper seva vritti of servant. Because that only will help us to be properly situated and go back home, back to God. We see that even in the pastime of Kanchipurna, you all might have heard that when he was serving the Supreme Lord, he asked Lord, can I go back to Vaikuntha? Can I go to Vaikuntha? He said no. He was shocked. Are, I am serving Lord and Lord is talking, still I can't go. He said no, because you are not serving Vaishnavas. So then he served Vaishnavas for some good time and then then later he says, now you are eligible. So that is such an important aspect to have this consciousness or servant of servant. So, uh, so we should all very sincerely pray for that and strive for that, and sincerely chant seeking this, because Prabhupada saying this is the highest benediction which we can aspire for. So only when we aspire for such benedictions, when we long for such attitude, then we can give up all this wrong attitudes which we have. So we should carefully think that even when I accept various services given in Iskcon, I am trying to control and enjoy, or I am trying to genuinely serve in the mood of servant, right? Because if we are genuinely trying to serve in the mood of servant, then actually we will never become unnecessarily angry, and will not develop all this lust, greed, anger, all these things, right? But why this actually manifest is because of these kind of mentalities which we have. So today we discussed initially about how King Rahugana was chastising Jadabharat sarcastically in various words, and how Jadabharat is trying to explain that how in the bodily conception you identify with the body as fat or thin, but actually I am spirit soul. So because of that, being free from that bodily conception is not affected. So we discussed how more you are in bodily conception, more you get affected. And he's later talking about the designations, material designations, how they are temporary, illusory. So we discussed about Swadharma and Parodharma, how we should be more attached to Parodharma, or constitutional position. Actually, if we are more attached to that Parodharma, even the Swadharma, occupational duties, will do in a Krishna conscious way, because we are firmly rooted in our Parodharma. Then all the other duties when you do, you will remember Krishna, right? Because just like a tree is deeply rooted, it is receiving water and all the nutrients, right? Then the tree will grow, flourish, right? So same way, if you are nicely, properly connected to Krishna deeply, right? So you will naturally grow in the other services, and you will do in a spiritual consciousness. In a Krishna conscious way, you will be able to do. It will nourish you, not that you will get frustrated. Why we get frustrated sometimes? Because of identifying in a false way. And I told also why we are attached to this designations, because even in Krishna consciousness, we are trying to get some material pleasure from those designations. So that's why we focus more on them while chanting, and we don't focus much on our true eternal position. We are actually falling in Maya, because Maya is making us think that these material designations are more important than our true designation of Jivera Swarubhui, Krishna Nityadas. And then we discussed more about how these material designations come also because of this attachment comes because of controllership and proprietorship, enjoyership mentality, and how we should give up this by becoming the servant of servant. That is what is the aspiration of all the great devotees of the Lord. And only when we do that very sincerely, not only pray but act in that direction, by mercy of Guru and Krishna, we can actually one day develop that proper consciousness. So we'll end here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.